Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, in my last video I said that I had purchased the bearings and the bolts for the VFR motor for rebuilding the crankcases, and that they were in the post. Well, they actually arrived earlier on this week. I think they arrived on Tuesday. This is now Thursday evening. Excuse me. And this is them here. Okay, so what we've got essentially is a box of various bits. These here are the bolts for bolting the crankcases back together. These are stretch bolts. They're designed to be used once. So you put them in, you tighten them up to a certain torque, and then you put on an extra quarter turn or whatever to get them to the right tension, as explained in the Haynes manual. You can see they've got the Honda code on them there, quantity 1, made in Japan. These are supposed to be genuine Honda parts. It says genuine parts, Honda Motor Co. Limited. So that's basically the bolts. That's one in that packet there, and I've got 6 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then what else have we got? We've got the bearings here. Okay, so this is an example of some of the bearings. Now if you look at this bearing here, you can just see through the polythene. I'm not taking it out of its bag because I want to keep them sort of together and organised and labelled and what have you. I don't want them getting kind of mixed up and what have you. But they do actually have colour coding on. I think you can maybe just tell through the polythene that that one's a green bearing. And again, they have codes on them here. They have like part codes on. So we've got 13326MR17013, quantity 1, made in Japan. But again, these codes don't give you enough information to actually use them. You do also need the colour coding, because for example that same code is also on some of the others, like this one. Well, this one's a bit different actually, but 13313 ML7691. This is the 691s are the outer ones, I believe, because I've got 4 of those, and I've got two of these, 2 of the 013s, and I've got 4 of the 691s. There's more 691s there. You can see the colour coding on the side of these as well. There's an example of one there. See if we can. No, it doesn't seem to be colour coded on that side. Maybe it was on the other side. Hang on 1 second. See if we can get it. There you go. So that's the blue bearing. So all I need to do when I come to fit these is just make sure that I put them in the right place in the crankcases. So I've got a note of which bit is which. So obviously the middle ones will go in the middle, and then the outer 2 I'll need to use the colour coding to work out where they go, and then I think they just kind of like press in there or glue in there or whatever. I need to have a look at my Haynes manual and see how you actually install them. I believe they'll have to be stuck in somehow, because obviously you want them to be secure. Don't want them to kind of like shift when I'm putting the crankcase in or whatever. Anyway, so that's the bearings and the bolts. So this is now Thursday night, and what I'm planning to do is, I've got some things to do over the weekend, but what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and get a bit of work done towards getting the bottom end built. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear off my workbench, because the workbench at the moment is all covered in the bits that I've been painting, like all this stuff, you know, and various other things that I've kind of dropped on here as well, the mop and the WD-40 and everything. Get those out of the way, and all these things will have to be kind of like wrapped up in newspaper and bagged up and put out of the way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this off as much as possible. I'm going to put newspaper over it. I'm going to duct tape the newspaper down, and that's going to give me like a nice really clean surface to work on. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my air compressor to clean the crankcases out, to blow all the dust and debris out of the oil ways and all that kind of thing, and get them perfectly clean before I start putting them back together again. So that's kind of like my task, and you know, for the next couple of days. So I'm hoping to get to a point where I could start assembling the crankcases at some point this weekend, which again is way behind where I originally planned. I think I was originally planning to start assembling it maybe just after Christmas, and this is the beginning of February, so I'm about a month behind. Between all the confusion about which bearings I needed and trying to find the right stuff and order it and all the rest of it, it's just kind of dragged on, but better late than never anyway. So I'm going to get this bench cleared, I'm going to get it taped up, I'm going to get the air compressor out. I've not used the air compressor for a while, so hopefully it'll still work okay. I'll probably be uploading, hopefully, at least one other video either this weekend or early next week, which shows some of the work that I'm going to do towards building the crankcases. So keep watching, and hopefully you'll get to see the beginning of the build quite shortly. Alright, thanks very much for watching. See you later.